Hello everyone, today in this video we'll fight against the utmost character of our world around us, and today we will comment on the brilliant and long-awaited decision of current US administration in Washington banning Antifa. Actually, not really banning, but in fact also, but putting Antifa on the list where it should have been from the very beginning of its existence. I'm in the list of terrorist organizations. Antifa itself origins from the pre-war period, I mean pre-Second World War period, when communists were creating their militant groups to fight their political opponents, not only fascists, because also conservatives and others. So we see that all origins of Antifa come back to Comintern, so Moscow agents who were sent out in pre-war period all around the world, and they were establishing network of spies and network of influence for Moscow. And the thing is that all of these Antifa movements followed, of course, because they were all, and they are still largely directed from Moscow and Peking, Beijing. They still follow the order of Stalin from mid-1943, where Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin claimed unfortunately very wisely, that all of our opponents, regardless of their genuine political nature, their real place on the political spectrum, he meant communists and all socialist communistic movements, we should call our opponents, regardless of their real political nature, we should call all of them fascists. Because we know that fascism and National Socialism was not in fashion because of Second World War and some war crimes. So it was very comfortable for communists call all of their opponents fascism, despite the fact that between fascism and National Socialism there are really remarkable differences in many aspects. But we know that politics is not about being true, but politics is about being effective, and it very often calls people's emotions to have an effect on their behavior, and calling everyone fascist, regardless of their real nature, it was and is still a brilliant move from the leftist organizations. And we know that this all antifas, so anti-fascist, if we unfold this abbreviation, all of these so-called anti-fascists were calling all of their opponents fascists. So they are still following this order from 1943 by Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin, those days head of Comintern, so International Organization of All Commies. And now finally the American administration in Washington put Antifa on the list of terrorist organizations. And this is very well justified, because all of the methods Antifa was and is still using are the terrorist methods developed by KGB specialists. So Antifas went to its place finally. Very good. But we all need to remember that these all organizations have their roots in the heart of communism in Moscow. And despite the fact that Soviet Union was dissolved in 1991, still these connections by the agents and intelligence services remained, and we see that all of the actions of Antifa also target enemies of Moscow and enemies of Beijing, Peking, so China, because China also uses similar networks as Soviets were and are using. Like WHO, it was organization established after Second World War as an initiative of Soviet and Chinese communists. And recent events 5 years ago proved us how strong Chinese influences of Chinese commies are in these organizations, like WHO. That is why, if we know the history, we know the truth, and we know who is who. Very good move from Washington administration. Let's hope other countries will follow and put also Antifa in its right place. And Antifa's right place is nothing else than list of the terrorist organizations. All the best. Have a nice day. Bye.